If you're a reader or regularly watch booktube videos, you'll probably know what Goodreads is. Goodreads is an app where you can see trending books, rate and review books, and see what books your friends are reading. How many times can I say books? At the end of the year, they release a list called the best books of said year. Obviously, it's very subjective, but anyways, in today's spoiler-free reading vlog, I'll be reading 3 books from this said list. And I'll tell you my thoughts and opinions and whether or not you should read them. So yes, I have chosen 3 books off Goodreads' best books of 2023. Did I just choose books that I already own and already have on my physical TBR? Yes, I did. I also don't think there's a problem with that because these are some of Goodreads' best books of 2023. They're not the very best, but also Goodreads is all based on people, and if you go to any other website, they'll have different like best books and like different top books, whatever. So the 3 books that I have chosen have kind of a look, there's a dragon. There are no dragons in any of the books I've chosen, but there's kind of like a magical theme to them. And let me explain. All kind of got like magical vibes. And I will explain why this is magical. This book is magical because there's like a magical typewriter situation, a magical world. Also the purple matches the purple plants back there. That is a really pretty background. I want to go there. If anyone knows any place that looks like that, tell me because I want to go there. But yes, magic. This book here, the girl moves into her aunt's old apartment and there's this random man living there and he's 7 years in the past. Also this book here, the reason why this is magical is because we have Mallory, right? And Mallory does not play chess anymore. Mallory used to be really good at chess, but then she took like many years break and then she versus the world champion. She versus the world champion, right? And she beats him and he doesn't even know. She has to be like, checkmate, because he doesn't even realize. That's extraordinarily unrealistic. That's why it's magical. It's not impossible that she beat him. That's not the impossible part. It's the part where he didn't even realize he was in checkmate. Like, how are you the world champion and have been the world champion for years and years and years and you don't know when you're in checkmate? So these are the magical books that I'm going to be reading that are on like the Goodreads like best book awards. So without further ado, I have been reading this book kind of slowly over the past few days. And I have some thoughts, which like obviously I have some thoughts because I've been reading it. So I'm going to take my thoughts and then I'm going to continue reading it. I think the main thing I want to say is that not everything has to be enemies to lovers. And this book, if you look on the back, says it has an addictive spice called enemies to lovers. So then everyone who picks up this book and looks in the back sees, oh look, enemies to lovers. No, this book is not enemies to lovers. At most, I would say the academic rivals to lovers. And I just feel like rivals and enemies. And I do feel like academic rivals is very different to just blanket enemies to lovers. Like, if you're really enemies, why would, on the first few pages, she ask him if he wants to go with her to get a sandwich? Like, that doesn't seem like enemy behavior. And also, their rivalry is literally because they both want, like, the same spot on the, like, publishing thing. That, in my opinion, is not high stakes. When I think of enemies to lovers, especially when the book is, like, fantasy and magical, I think they both have reasons to want to kill each other. There's none of that in here. So not enemies lovers, I'd say at the most it's academic rivals lovers because it's academic in the sense that they're both journalists and they're both on like the top position. Now that that's out of the way, let me talk about some things I love about the book. I love that this book is written in third person. I love when books are written in third person because sometimes when it's just written in first person, I hate being inside the character's head because the characters are sometimes very... Let's just say they make decisions that I would never make and I don't think anyone else in the world would ever make, but they make them and it's just insufferable and annoying. So I really love that person. I also am very interested about the gods, Enver and Dacre. I just think it's so cool, but there's also a whole bunch of like other gods that are like still asleep and I would love to just hear more about the gods because they're so interesting. I also love the world, the places they go. I will say this book does have a few little cheesy lines, but with what I say with cheesy lines, if there is some nice prose, it makes up for it. And this book has some also very beautiful quotes and very beautiful lines, so that makes up for everything that's just a little bit cheesy. There is no chance of me DNFing this book, and I will 100% be reading Ruthless Vows. I'm really enjoying it so far. I also think at some stage I will also reread this book. When I really love a book, I will 100% reread it. Also, a little while ago, I tried to make like a 5-star ranking system and I think I just decided that I will not be able to ever rate a book 5 stars unless it's a reread. Because that's how you truly, truly know that you love it, is if you reread it. My opinion so far is that I really do like this book. Also, when they write the letters, I love that part as well, the fact that it is actually letters. They have like special fonts and I don't know what it is about me, but I love certain fonts and I love when in books, when there's like text or in this case letters, the font is different and it's not just like the same thing written in italic. Some topics that are in this book are addiction, loss, death, hopelessness, despair. And at the end of chapter 12, I did cry. Well, I mean, didn't not like cry, but like my eyes were like watering. As we get through the book, we are introduced to a new character. Her name is Addie, and then she and Iris become friends. And I really like Addie. I really like Iris's like new little mission part. Also with, his name is not Victor. His name is not Victor. With Roman. I know that he's depicted like this, but have you seen The Corpse Bride? I see him as Victor. I see him as Victor. Their situations are a little bit similar, like a little teensy bit similar, like with the piano thing and then like the, I don't know if that's a spoiler, but Victor, that's who I picture him as. And as Iris, okay, every single time I just keep seeing her as Hermione Granger. Last night I also went on an afternoon walk and I was listening to this book, and as I was walking I saw this kangaroo on the path that I normally take. So I was like looking at it like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do here? And as soon as the kangaroo saw me, it then got its friend. I look away for 1 second, I look back, and there are 2 of them. And they start slowly towards me. And so my walk was kind of cut short. I also have a theory about Marisol's wife. There's a character in this book, and she's called Marisol, and she's got a wife, and like the entire thing is like really secretive. It's like, oh, you know, she doesn't want to talk about her wife. And I have a theory that, I don't know if it's stupid to say. I don't know if this theory is stupid to say, but I think her wife is Ember, like the god. Like, it would make sense. Like, she's being all secretive about it. And so I'm just like, is it? I just wanted to come in here to say that, no, Marisol is not married to Ember. That is one of the most ridiculous theories I've ever had, and it's not true. I do have a song that I think, okay, not Bob Marley. It's my birthday soon, and I'm going to see the Bob Marley movie as part of, like, my birthday present. I don't know if I'm going to even leave this part in, because if you have read this book, you will know. I mean, I think if you know, you will know.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So I'm currently up to chapter 37. I only have this much left to go. Things are going well. This much left to go. This much left to go, and things are going well. I don't think so. If things were going well and there was like this much left, no, like this much left, then I wouldn't be suspicious. But the fact that there is all of this, like, what could that be? What could that be? So I'm gonna read this and I will like update you, because I think I can easily get through this. Like, I'm really enjoying this. Oh, as I flip through, why does the epilogue page have something from Dacre's perspective? Okay, update, there is a calico cat in this book, and I absolutely love calico cats. The cutest. So this is kind of the situation where she's with someone, and she thinks it's Roman, and I don't think it's Roman, and I'm a little bit like, run in the opposite direction. I am also up to the epilogue. I'm scared because like, why does Dacre have, why is it his perspective? Okay, let's just read it. Oh no. Up to the acknowledgements. No. No. I should have expected this. I mean, there's a second one for a reason. I need ruthless vows. I'm scared because I know exactly what's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen at the start, and it's just, it happens in so many books, so many movies, and it's always the same thing, and I don't want to be dealing with that, because the pain and the anguish, and it's like, I think potentially another reason why I'm feeling really upset is because when I was 15, I read this one fan fiction, right? It's called Manacled. It was like the best thing I ever read. Like, to this day, I still adore it. And I found out that like at the end of this year, it's going to be taken down. First of all, it was on Wattpad, and then it was taken down from there, but it was on AO3, right? And I only read it on AO3, right? AO3 is better than, you know, Wattpad is like, I mean, I always have fond memories of Wattpad, but okay. The author, I'm very happy for the author. The author is making a debut, and it's going to be like kind of like Manacled, but it's like real. Will I be getting that book? Of course I will. Okay, of course I will. But I just, Manacled, the fact that I won't be able to at any point in time just go on AO3 and just read it like I have been doing since I was 15 years old, and I'm gonna be 19 soon. I've been doing it since I was 15. The fact that I won't just be able to like just go in there, it's okay. Don't worry guys, I already downloaded it. Still will have it, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So Divine Rivals, the ending of this, it was painful. Okay, it's very painful, and I need to stop reading books that are not standalones expecting happy endings. I always do this, and even though I know, part of me is still like, yeah, everything can work out. No, it can't. My heart is hurting, and I think part of it is Manacled, and part of it is also this. But also, I just feel sick. Like, I just feel sick. Sick to my stomach. Ruthless Vows is going to be horrendous. But isn't this only a duology? Right now, how I feel like that, like, Jennifer Lawrence thing. You know, like, she's crying because she went on that, like, Hot Wings show. She's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I feel like that right now. Isn't it so strange that literally words, the arrangement of letters on a piece of paper, can have, like, such a strong emotional impact? Isn't it crazy how we can be different people after reading books? And, you know, just think, if you didn't make the decision to read a book, you'd be fine. But then you decide to read a book, and then you're not okay after it because of literally just the formation of letters. I need to read something fluffy. So I've also been reading, as I've been reading this, I've also been in the middle of Check and Mate, right, by Ali Hazelwood. And that's like kind of fluffy, but there's also some kind of heavier themes. And I was looking at my, you know, February TBR. Where is the fluff? Where are the fluffy books on there? I was expecting this book to be a fluffy book. I was also expecting Check and Mate to just be like cute. Nothing really. I mean, I guess the No Show. I don't want to read that though. I don't want to read that. I mean, even the No Show has stuff in it because it's like, why is he dating 3 women, you know? So yeah, note yourself. Okay, future me, next month, pick something like, I don't know, like a cowboy romance. Also, yeah, I love this book, if you couldn't tell. I was partially listening to it on the audiobook, and the audiobook I found was really good. Yeah, would highly recommend the audiobook as well. Also, I don't think I even said this anywhere, but as part of my birthday present, I got 2 books, right? These were specific books that I asked for. First one was Ruthless Vows. And then the next one I have is None of This Is True. The new Magnolia Parks book, Magnolia Parks Into the Dark, is coming out in less than 10 days. So I was researching, looking at all different websites, trying to figure out where I should pre-order it. I want this specific edition. Most places were saying that the book price was like $33. The cheapest I could find was $24. So the plan was in the morning I was going to wake up and just like pre-order it for $24. Well. To my surprise, the next morning when I looked, guess what? I found that there was this website, Booktopia, right? They were doing this massive 40% off sale on all new releases. And this edition, right? It was $18. And the feet covers were like $20. And so I was like, $18 for this? That is a steal. However, if I was just to get that book, I would have had to pay $10 in shipping. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to spend $100 because after you spend $99, you get free shipping. I hate wasting my money. I hate buying things when there are cheaper things out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I scoured the internet for so many different books, constantly cross-checking, cross-referencing, and on this website, I managed to purchase books, and it was the cheapest hit. It was cheaper than every other place. So I think I have like 5 books that are gonna come eventually. Some of them are like, oh, waiting to be picked. I have no idea what that even means. One book that I ordered, like, they're specially printing it out for me. Like, I got a little note thing that said that because that book is going to be just printed out just for me, I can't return it. Anyways, this is the first book that I got, so I thought I'm going to do a little haul. There's like 3 books in here. I was not expecting that. I was expecting there to be 1 book in here. I'm very confused. It comes in a little parcel. This is so cute. Okay, let me show you. The first book I got was The House Next Door, Everything I Know About Love. This is one of those books that I just, well, it's not really like a book. It's just this lady's like life experience. And I'm also very excited for this book. So excited. Now, this was the book. This was the book they specially printed off, right? Now, I could only find this book on Amazon, and it was cheaper on this website here. So, yeah, this was the one where I can't return it. I still have 2 more books. One of them is, of course, Magnolia Parks, the Into the Dark one, but obviously I can't get that now, considering it's not out yet. And then the other one is another one of the books by this author. So these are the books I got so far. I will update you when I get the other ones. Okay, bye. I'm currently standing in my pantry because I want to be standing in my pantry. This is the book I've been reading. I'm halfway through the book and I've been tabbing it kind of a lot just because this book has some very nice life lessons and quotes, and also, sorry if the audio is like really bad in here. When I went into this book, knowing that the ending is very sad. I have not gotten to the ending yet, but when it is, I want to cry. Okay? I want to cry. I know it's just, you know, words on a page, but I want to cry. I've heard so many wonderful things about this book and I'm super excited. But also, I wanted to show you, like, for some reason my book, the binding is so weird. Look at that. Why is the binding showing like that? See what I'm talking about? Like, that's weird. Also, I like the fact that the dedication is like, for all the food lovers. See, look, the binding is weird there as well. Like, for all the food lovers who burn popcorn in the microwave, would be strong to cook too. I kind of want to feel like popcorn now. I know there's popcorn in here somewhere. This is why it's good to be in the pantry. Where's the popcorn? Oh yes, this is my favorite popcorn. The epitome of health right here. This is literally the healthiest popcorn there is. Triple butter. That was sarcastic, by the way. So essentially this book is about this woman in this publishing company, and she has this apartment, well, it's her aunt's apartment, and she goes in there, and you know, sometimes it's like really magic, and sometimes it will take you back 7 years into the past, and in the past there is this guy who's like living in her aunt's apartment because she just like letting him use it for the summer. I honestly really do love when books have little hints of magic and stuff in them because I just think it's fun, and sometimes I like a little bit more. I look like I'm naked, and also look how bad my posture is. Like, this is how I normally stand. My back's supposed to be like up there. What I remember about what's been said here is that my worst possible fear happened. As she was in the apartment, some pigeons flew in and like was roughing up her hair. Yes, scratching at her head. Well, one of them did. The other one was like on the bench. The other pigeon was on the bench. The other one was in her hair, scratching up her head. Worst fear, I am scared of a lot of birds. Okay, I'm also mildly scared of pigeons. It makes me feel bad because, you know, when I was younger there was that movie called Valiant, and you know, I did really love that movie, and also I know that pigeons were discarded because humans used them, you know, for like the war and stuff and like sending messages, but then they weren't needed anymore, so they were tossed out and thrown out in the cold, and like they, you know, so I feel bad for them, but also like I'm scared of them. Like, don't look at me and fly at me, you know. The guy, he's also from the Outer Banks. I was obsessed with the Outer Banks, specifically one character whose name starts with an R, and that's all I'm gonna say. In this book, they mention Survivor, like Survivor reruns. Where is it? Okay, I can't find it, but they mention Survivor in this book. And right now, Survivor is on, like Australian Survivor, and I've been watching it. I'm catching up on Survivor, and in the ads, I'm going to read this. I have 4 episodes that I have not watched. I mean, I watched the second one, and I was like, wait, there's a new Survivor, so I'm just gonna rewatch it all, so then I'm all caught up. I like how he quoted Gladiator. Side note about Survivor, Kirby is 100% the smartest one at Survivor. Literally, one of the first challenges, there was this puzzle. One team, they were like, yes, we're done. And then Jonathan was like, no, there's something wrong. And everyone was like, what's wrong with the puzzle? And Kirby was the first one. She saw it immediately. She was like, oh yeah, look, it's that little bit there, like, see, they haven't lined it up properly. She was the first person to notice it, and then like 10 minutes later, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, maybe not 10 minutes later, but afterwards, like, she's just the smartest person, like, at Survivor, when the way she's doing things. But I also really like Ferris, and I just want them to, like, be friends, and I don't know if that's gonna happen. I really like Viola. I think that she's great. Yeah, I think that's it. I think my favorite season was when there was, like, Jericho and Luke, and they had the cookie jar. Also David, he was really funny. Also, I do love Shawnee. Okay, if you don't know Survivor, you're not gonna know who any of these people are. This part is kind of a spoiler, but like not really, so like just skip forward if like you don't really want to be spoiled at all. But I guess this from the side, and I put it down in my notes. Basically, her friends at the publishing company, they want to work with this guy. He's a chef, and he writes about like food and memories and stuff, and she runs into him, and I'm like, obviously this is the guy. At the start, when he would call her Lemon, because her name's Clementine, and at first I was just like, why is he doing that? But then there was a scene where I was like, okay, that makes sense why he had to call her a nickname, so then we knew that he knew that, you know, like, we just knew, right? I was being very mean here in my notes, because I didn't know that part yet. I was like, he calls her Lemon, and his name is, like, Ewan? I don't know how to say that name. What is that? Like, what? Don't throw stones in glass houses. I was like, wait. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. So basically there's this movie called The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. The only reason why I thought that movie was just because I was like, don't throw stones in glass houses. Well, in that movie there's like this greenhouse, and there's like this particularly like kind of like scene, and I watched that movie like many years ago, and I just completely forgot about it. It's kind of like a weird movie. I will say the sentences are very long. There's a lot of like descriptions and stuff, and I will admit, like at the start I was a teensy weensy little bit bored, but now I'm not. Once I started like really getting into the story, like now I'm not. Now I'm very intrigued, and I really want to keep reading and everything. I like when things are like extrally described. Yes, because extrally is a word, but I like when that happens. But I'm just saying, like, if you don't, you might not like that about it. I was hoping for some like flashback scenes, more flashback scenes with like her and her aunt, because we have like the prologue. I just wanted some more scenes so we could really see, because she's telling us about her aunt and telling us all these things, and I don't know, I just feel like it would be more impactful if we would have seen them doing these things, and because her aunt died, obviously that's why she has the apartment. Also, the fact that this book is set in New York makes me want to watch Sex and the City. I started watching Sex and the City last year, and I really liked it, but then that was when like the new season came out, and my mum watched that, and then I was just kind of like in the room when she watched it, and I was kind of like, I don't really like this, because where's Samantha? Where's Samantha, huh? And don't even begin to tell me that, oh well, she had a phone call. A phone call? What? So I want to get back into watching Sex and the City, because I watched that when I was like kind of really lonely, and it also made me feel very like just relieved, because like these people, they met each other later in life and they became friends, and I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. That's completely fine, because one day this is gonna happen to me. I'm gonna like meet my people, or maybe I even want to watch like Gossip Girl. Like half the things that they're saying I know because I watch Gossip Girl, so I know what like the Upper East Side is, which, you know, maybe if you're American, you know, but I didn't. Like I live in Australia. There's like no New York here. I also have written something down. It says, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I feel like this guy would give the ick to a lot of people. Like he's trying to be cool, so he had like a fry pan and he was like swinging around and he almost hit himself in the head. And then also he was leaning against like the stove thing, being really cool, and then he burnt his pinky finger. So yeah, I feel like some people would be like, oh, but I think it's funny. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's like that bad. Like some of the things he does, I'm just like, ooh. But even some of the things she does, I'm also just like, oh, okay. I am like really liking this book. Now that I'm kind of like over halfway through, like the past is linking with the present. And that's very exciting. I like seeing that. But also it's very like weird to think about because basically whatever happened between them 7 years ago, he knows, right? He knows. But she doesn't know because she's in the future. This is my theory, right? I think that in the past 7 years, like when the last time she went, I reckon they had like this big gigantic fight. That's what I think. And I think that he knows it because obviously like, but she doesn't. I don't think that she knows the fight yet because, well, she's in the future. Because like, how could you not talk? Because at the start, they seem to have this like wonderful like connection and friendship. So how would he not try to find her in 7 years? She mentions the Moulin Rouge soundtrack. It's all my updates that I have for this book. So yes, as I continue reading, I'll be more like reading vlog style. I'm about to go watch that new movie, the Anyone But You one, and I will let you know what I think about it. That Anyone But You movie was so good. Like I really liked it. I thought it was great. These have been my meal of choice. They're absolutely delicious and divine, and I only have like the teeniest little bit left. And I'm just gonna eat them all today because they're very delicious. Like, I don't know what it is about nerds, but like, I just think they're so good. I just always get them at the swimming carnival or the athletics carnival. Nerds and Zappos. I just dropped the nerd on the ground. And there are like white-tailed spiders in my room. I know because, yeah, I tried to kill it and then it failed and went in my wardrobe and now I can't find it. So today is the 15th of February, which means it's my birthday. I have also been seeing angel numbers literally all day. I've been seeing them all day. I woke up this morning, it was 11:11. I woke up at 11:11 and then I saw 222 when I started making my breakfast. I had a cream cheese bagel. It was very delicious. I got them last night for my birthday. I will be going out later tonight. I'm 19 now. I think I'm just going to read. I really want to finish this book and I think I can because that's very interesting. This is also not my birthday cake, but it is a cake and I will be eating it on my birthday. It's very nice. What has happened back here? I'm going to make another cream cheese bagel. These are good. I got them at like, I get it. I get now why people eat them. Isn't like a cream cheese bagel very popular in New York? This is set in New York. I'm just going to use the plate that I've already used. Oh, whoops. Okay, I'm just going to get out a bagel and I'm going to cut it. Last night I did like a test run and I put it in the toaster, but it started like smoking because little parts of it were burning. So this is a sandwich press and I just put this in there like once I cut it and then it toasted. Also, why are bagels so expensive? Like I got these on sale, but like still. I don't know what I'm gonna watch today. I started watching Seven, which Seven is my favorite movie of all time. The best movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Put that there. It's gonna take a very long time to heat up because I didn't preheat it. I'm just gonna get these crumbs, just like put them in the bin. This is just the cream cheese that I use. I have these raspberries. This is my chair and she sits on that one. This is my plate so far. Let's just see how things are going in here. Yes, I'm gonna take another little while because it's not even on yet. Well, I mean it is, but it's just like heating up. Okay, so as you can see, it's not even on, but look, okay, you know what? That's fine. This is fine. This is before and this is after. Oh, my nails match my plate. Time for me to do my makeup. This is what my desk is currently looking like. I'm gonna try the chocolate one. This one is peppermint. These ones are vanilla. Strawberry. I'm just finishing this book. So it's currently midnight and I only have a little bit left of this book, so I'm just gonna get it done now. I'm up to chapter 37. whimsical children's book series. Her name was Clementine. When I was younger, I had this book. It was something like Clementine Rose. I had one of the books and she had a pig. Let me find it because I definitely still have it because I wanted Beauty and the Beast library. So I need to have a wide variety of books, including the ones I had when I was younger. They also have severe attachment issues and I don't like letting things go. Something which this book is actually helping me a little bit with. Literally no way. It's right there. I don't even have to like look very far. So this is what I was talking about. This one right here. There's the doorman. No, that's the butler. This is words on paper. Okay. Oh well, I said I wanted to cry. And this book is, oh my, I just can't stop reading this. I just can't stop reading this page. 305. I have this much left. It's currently 2 in the morning and I have finally finished That Almost Just Fell and caused a very loud ruckus, which I can't do because people in my house are sleeping. You stay, you stupid ring light. Anyways, I have finally finished this book and I'm gonna do my review now. I cannot express to you how much I needed to read this book, and I didn't even know I needed to read it until I just finished it. At the start I was a little bit apprehensive. I wasn't really that into it. Just indescribable how I felt, but I was so glad I read this book. I have a lot of quotes that I will be revisiting. I will 100% be rereading this book. The author actually says something about that at the end. So who I am like right now, I just finished reading this book. The next time I read this book, I'm going to be so different. It is very strange to think about that. A few discussion questions. I wanted to kind of go over 3 of them. One of the questions is, the apartment can only travel 7 years into the future or past. Would you travel 7 years into either your future or your past? And if so, who would you want to meet there and why? Wait, how long ago would 7 years ago be? 2017. So I was in year 7. I had just turned 12. Hang on a second, I actually have a diary. There's a possibility I could have a diary entry from 19th of February 2017. If I had to pick, I would 100% pick going into the future. I am so scared for my future, scared for who I'm going to be, scared for who I'm going to meet. You know when I was showing you that like Clementine Rose book? I noticed my diary back there. This is what it looks like. I remember I got this on my birthday, Wednesday the 15th of February 2017. I'm so happy my birthday is today and I'm finally 12. 19th. I was at a party and I don't remember this day at all, but I know that the people who were in that party I have not seen in years and I will never see them ever again. And there was an altercation at the party and I know what it is now, but back then I didn't. I cut my arm on a fence and I was concerned I was gonna get tetanus. I can say that that did not happen. It's so weird. No more. Judging by that, I would not want to go back to 7 years ago today. That was not a very pleasant day, to be honest. No, that was not a good day at all. Because it's only like 2 hours into check what my life was like on the 18th of February. I don't remember any of this. Oh. Someone said that her sister was getting a nose piercing tomorrow. And I put like the kind of like that kind of emoji. I have one. I was so different. I was so like stressed out back then. I mean, I'm still stressed out now, but there is no way I'd go back to the past. Also, I'm starting to think that maybe I should just burn this. And there are some situations in here that I've just briefly read that I've forgotten about, and I'm just like, I can't even tell you what situations they are because they're really bad. I really don't want to remember that because it's really painful. Now I just feel very uncomfortable. You look back on things with rose-colored glasses. Anyways, so that's the first one. The next question. Clementine has a love for art and artists, but most specifically Vincent van Gogh. Is there a piece of art that moves you? Book, painting, film, comic, they all count, and if so, why? I mean, first of all, this book moved me. I think the one that I just keep thinking of recently is called Sliding Doors. Same characters, and it's like what happens if she gets on a train and what happens if she doesn't get on a train. And then it just shows like how different her life is and all the things that happen. And I just can't stop thinking about it, so that changed me. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button's, that movie, that also changed me. But I will say about Vincent van Gogh, One thing that's always stuck with me is the fact that he was never recognized in his time. It's just not fair because he went his whole life and no one liked his art, and then now it's just so different. Whatever there is after death, I hope that he has seen that. I hope that he has seen how great his art is, how successful he really did become. And then the last question is, if you had a plane ticket to anywhere in the world, where would you go? Where do I think Clementine went? The only reason why I would say Iceland is because there was something about like her and her aunt going to Iceland and they didn't get to go. I think there's a few places I want to go to. I think I want to go see the Northern Lights. There's this place called Aspen in Colorado, the mountains. I want to go to a place with mountains. I think I'd want to go to America. I've never been to America before. I do want to go to England. I also want to travel all over Europe. I'm really glad I read this book. Also with this, I am gonna go back to hiding this. This is so funny. Here, like, my dogs are still alive. There's so many happy things that I'm writing about, but I just can't remember them. Why does my brain make me remember like painful things? I mean, I guess it's made me not remember a lot of painful things as I'm seeing with this. I made the relay for some athletics carnival. I don't like it at all, but also I can't stop reading it. A lot can happen in 7 years. I wonder what I'm going to be like in 7 years. How old will I be then? I'll be 26 then. I'll probably be dead by then anyways. I guess some things don't change. Today, I got heaps of books. I am writing about scandals in this thing. Also, Survivor Talk, Tuesday the 26th of September 2017. I can't believe this. Luke went home on Survivor, but Tara is still there. And what's getting to me is I have entries that I've scribbled out, so I have no idea what I wrote down. It's been like 40 minutes of me sitting here. I'm sorry for getting so sidetracked to this book. So glad I read it. I think this is my favorite book that I've read in the video. I'm starting this book, and I even have a pink straw to match the cover. I like this detail.
Jimmy wants to play chess.
So by now I have already finished Checkmate, but there is a cat hair on the corner. As I take all my notes in the present time, I'm just going to take you through my thoughts and opinions on this book as I was reading it. I think this book cover is one of the cutest book covers I've ever seen, and I've also heard that Ali Hazelwood has some other good books, so if I like this one, I might read her other ones. I have definitely heard some very mixed reviews about this book. Some people love it, some people don't. Mrs. Agarwal is at her desk pretending to grade papers but probably reading Bill Nye erotic fan fiction. See? I remember when I was younger and in science, and I sometimes had to watch that guy's videos. We watched it as a class, so I don't really like that image in my mind. I also did go into this book knowing that there was going to be so much pop culture references, and honestly, once I go into a book knowing that it's going to be filled with them, then it's okay because I'm prepared. It's just when I'm starting to read a book and it's just so off guard, but there is a lot. She talks about Tumblr, AO3. She talks about a lot of stuff. Is this book going to age well? No. This book is going to be very dated and it's going to age terribly. It's like basically already dated. Remember, she is not Gen Z. The author is a millennial writing, trying to relate to a Gen Z audience, and it's obvious. This book did kind of inspire me a little bit to want to watch The Queen's Gambit. Chocolate cream cheese foam bubble tea. That sounds disgusting. Also, in like page 23, she does mention How to Get Away with Murder, which is this show. I had to stop watching that show. Now, at first, I did think that the reason why she stopped playing chess was the fact that her dad died. Don't really know where I got that from. Her dad does die, but that's like not the reason why she stopped playing chess. Also, the fact that I really do love chess myself. I liked this main character was a chess player, especially considering I've never read something like that. I've seen something like that, but I haven't read it. I said, I don't think Nolan is a good chess player. I'm sorry, how did Mallory beat him without him knowing? I'm not a chess professional, but when you're in checkmate, you know you're in checkmate, unless you don't know what you're doing. And he's the world leader, so he should know what he's doing. But also, at the end of the book, she said, the author, that she took creative license. And she said that she's sorry if people notice. Why does your breath smell like a skunk during mating season? That was said by her sisters. Now, can I just say, her sisters are so insufferable, they're so ungrateful, they're so selfish, and they had the audacity to call Mallory selfish when Mallory was doing everything for her family. The fact that it is YA, you have to be prepared that it's cringy, so like there's so many things that I was cringing at, but also I knew it because it was YA, so I was like, just keep persevering, okay? I thought that definitely knew her dad because she had like a tattoo on her arm, so I was like, is that maybe a game between like her and him? It's not, by the way. When I was reading this book, I was watching this show called I'm a Stalker. That show was terrifying. It's on Netflix. I had to stop watching it because like it was scaring me so much. What is it about main characters being called Mallory and not listening and having a terrible memory. Okay, Mallory from Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, she does not listen. Mallory from Checkmate, she also does not listen. So Nolan has like a best friend. He's called Emil. The first time we saw them together was Nolan was going into the pool and then Emil ran in and jumped in the water, right? Then Mallory has to play Emil, and as Emil is playing, he confesses that him and Nolan, like, they're best friends. And so, like, it's hard having like a best friend who's like a world champion at chess or whatever. So Mallory knows this. They talk about the fact that he knows this, right? And then there's like this like some like Olympic chess tournament or whatever. And Nolan and there's a hair in my mouth. Nolan and Emil are there. And you know what Mallory says? Oh, how do you know Sawyer? Or like, so you know Sawyer? Like, did you not listen? He literally explained they were best friends. Like, it's just getting on my nerves. And I suppose you could say like, oh, maybe it's just because, you know, her mind is full of chess. So yes, exactly. Because her mind is full of chess and her mind is on Sawyer and her mind is on Emil, like, she should have remembered that. And also, I hate the fact that I always notice that in books. When something does not add up, I'm just like, I'm trying to enjoy the book here. I think it was a mistake. I don't think it was the fact that, oh, her mind is full of chess. Well, duh. Like, but he plays chess, so it makes sense. These are my notes, right? So I kind of want to talk about the fact that it's like, oh, yes, I gotta talk about that. Easton was her best friend. At the start, everything was great, right? And then Mallory was trying to text her and everything, and then Easton just wasn't answering, was leaving her on red. But then when they eventually, like, have a discussion together, this could be a spoiler, so like, skip forward, Easton is all like, but I thought that you had forgotten about me. I'm like, Mallory was the one who was texting you, and you were the one who was ignoring. Mallory was a flawed character. Sabrina called her selfish one time, that's her sister, and I was like, okay, but she's not being selfish there. You are. Okay, but there was one scene where she was being selfish, and I was very happy that Oz did step in. And that's how I know that her being flawed was purposeful, because people around her were calling her out. She was kind of annoying, and there is character development. Riverdale is a plot point in this book. One thing that really did annoy me was the fact that she kept hating on Nolan and kept saying how evil he was, just because a few years ago he like flipped a table and punched someone in the face, and she just kept being all like, oh, I'm scared he's gonna kill me. There's even a scene where someone is asking her about him. She literally says that like he's so mean, but then after she's like, oh, but like he hasn't ever been mean to me. But she doesn't tell the person that he has done nothing to her. At the start he didn't make eye contact with her, but then he's only been nothing but nice, and yet she's over here being all like, oh, he's gonna kill me. Like, pull yourself together. Like, if anything, she's the mean one to him. She's constantly mean to him. She's very insufferable as well. She says that she hates him, and then when they have a fight, she literally throws all of his trauma back into his face. Those are the types of people that I hate in this world. Again, not every book has to be enemies to lovers. There were supposed to be enemies to lovers in this book. The most pitiful enemies to lovers ever, because there was like no tension, there was nothing. He was nothing but civil to her. If anything, it's all like one-sided. In Mallory's mind, she was like, oh yes, he's my rival. No, he's not. Also, the fact that this book was YA, but there was so much talk of sex. Like, they talk about a foursome, and then at the dinner table, a 12-year-old, her 12-year-old sister, starts asking Nolan about his sex life. Why is like the 12-year-old sister like harassing Nolan at the table asking about this? Even Sabrina was asking about that. There is a lot of talk about Mallory's hookups. She's like 18 and he's like 20. That's not really like YA then, is it? That's just like adult. I always thought that YA was for younger people. Like, I'm 18 and I already think that like I'm not for YA. I think sometimes if people get like a certain perception of you in their mind, they can then only see that as you. Nolan Sawyer, like, everyone saw him as this like violent person because he like flipped the table once and he also punched someone. That was kind of like all anyone could see him as. I feel like his personality was kind of bland. I didn't really feel like there was like much romance. Also, I feel like the ending of this book was disappointing. So would I recommend you read this book? Well, I think take all I said in mind, and then you can decide if you still want to read it. It's 3 a.m, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if I just did a quick little wrap up of all the books that I read in this video. Divine Rivals, I really like this book. I liked Magic Systems. The ending was heartbreaking. I do wish there was a little bit more about the gods because I found them very interesting. This book was... It's also made me remember how much I like chess. I thought that there was a few scenes that were a bit much for YA. We have the 70s slip. I'm really glad I read this. I really enjoyed it. So overall, I say I can see why all these books are on the best books of 2023 Goodreads list. My favorite books in order, I think, would be 1, 2, 3. Also, I really, maybe all 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.